Rugby has been played in Canada since the 1860s, but Rugby Canada was not incorporated as a union until 1974. The slow progress was largely due to some major natural obstacles in Canada. Its harsh climate, huge size and low population. Since then, growth has been swift. The Canucks have played in the last 5 Rugby World Cups, and Canada regularly hosts major international tournaments like the Churchill Cup. One of the major factors in the expansion of the game in Canada is its developing domestic competitions. 8 years ago, the Rugby Canada Super League was formed, 2 divisions of 7 teams, with the final played between the top side from each group. Last month, the Saskatchewan Prairie Fire from the west hosted the Newfoundland Rock from the east in the final.
We have made a great deal of strides, and a lot of our teams have made a great deal of strides. We are looking at the 4th final, where we're going to see between 3,000 and 5,000 people there, and that's a money-making proposition. And we know the game's there. We know the talent's there. It's fantastic. So it's a great opportunity.
The Super League was introduced to give players better domestic preparation for the step up to international level. Rod Snow is well placed to judge its success. The Canada prop recently returned to Newfoundland after a decade in Wales.
I think the new Super League format is an appropriate venue to get yourself into the national team. This mechanism allows, I think, the more players at the top level to be seen. So I think from that perspective, I mean, it gives the national team coach to see more players, and it gives the players an opportunity to play at a higher level and more opportunity of winning things.
Thanks.
The growth of the domestic game is of paramount importance to the health of the national side and key to attracting more Canadians to the sport.
For the country's perspective, having a Super League that spanned the country and that allowed us to identify people who were potentially capable of playing for Canada is critical.
To bolster that supply line to the national squad, the IRB recently announced a cross-border tournament for the top regional teams from Canada and the USA. It's a further step in strengthening rugby in both Tier 2 nations.
You know, it's great to get that support, but the North American continent has to deliver that product. Consultation between Rugby Canada, the USA Rugby Union, our 2 respective Super Leagues could really, truly brand a level of rugby that could feed our national senior men's team and take us out of that, you know, elevate our Tier 2 product into Tier 1.
The Super League final was certainly a gripping encounter for the fans in Saskatchewan. The home team led 13-3, but after the interval, Newfoundland's forwards took control. The Rock, playing in their 3rd final in 4 years, scored 20 unanswered points to silence the local fans. For the first time in 8 years, the championship had been won by a team from the east.
Stay at the Hotel Sask for that big prize.
It's the first national final for a Newfoundland rugby team, and it's one of the very few national winners that we ever had. And I'd say it's probably the best Newfoundland team of any sport that's ever played, because they've been to 3 national finals and are now national champions.
As Canada looks to strengthen its position in world rugby, the success of the Super League will be key to its growth.